Here I have a Virginia bone-in ham, and I'm going to teach you how you can make this into the centerpiece for your Christmas dinner. Right, so here we have 2 kilograms or about 4.5 pounds worth of ham, and we're going to cook it with our secret ingredient, Coca-Cola. Trust me, the pairing works. The acidity from the cola is going to help tenderize the ham, and the sweetness is going to balance with the saltiness of the ham beautifully as well. Now, before we dive into the recipe, if you need help with a Christmas starter, why don't you check out this baked camembert recipe right up above, and if you're not done so already, do consider clicking on subscribe and to turn on the notifications so you can stay up to date with all my latest recipes. Now let's dive right in. Alright, let's get our ham ready. If your ham comes in a plastic bag like mine, then grab a pair of kitchen shears and cut it open to release that ham. If it is also wrapped in a net like mine, then use your kitchen shears to cut it open as well. It may be bound tightly to your ham, but just give it a gentle pull and it should come off nicely. Now grab a large pot. Make sure your pot is large enough to contain the ham, because our next step will be to pour an entire large bottle of Coke into the pot itself. Allow the ham to really bathe in that Coke, because this is how we're going to introduce flavor into the ham. Oh, by the way, feel free to use Pepsi or any cola brand that you prefer, because this is your ham and it's your holiday. Now let's talk spices. We're going to use my Christmas trinity of cinnamon sticks, cloves, and Star Anise. These spices are the secret to adding the extra Christmas magic. Now go ahead and add the spices to the pot. Next, we're going to add the juice of 1 to 2 oranges. Give the orange a good roll under your palm, cut it in half, and add it to the pot. Really give the oranges a good squeeze to get every drop of orange juice out. If you want to make sure that no seeds get into the pot, you can use one hand to catch the seeds as they come out from the oranges. Now you'll want at least 3/4 of the ham to be covered in the Coke bath. If you have to, add more Coke or go ahead and add more water like I did to help it along the way. Now let's start cooking. Place the pot on the stove and turn up the heat to medium. We're going to bring up the temperature of the Coke bath, but making sure that it never comes to a boil. When you see the scum start to collect on the surface, get a ladle and remove it from the liquid. Doing so will help you get a cleaner tasting product at the end. Now that the liquid is starting to simmer, we're going to turn down the heat just a little bit and cover it with a lid, but leave a little hole exposed so we can allow the steam to release. Allow the ham to simmer for about 2 to 2.5 hours. As you leave the ham to simmer in the Coke bath, your whole house will start to smell amazing. At the halfway mark, we can see that the ham has already started to take on the darker hue from the Coke. If you want to, you can even turn the ham around to make sure that the entire piece has had a chance to soak up all the flavors in the liquid. After 2 to 2.5 hours, turn off the heat and remove the pot from the stove. Next, remove the ham from the pot and allow it to cool down. You can also throw away the Coke mixture because we won't need it anymore. As the ham is cooling down, let's prepare our glaze. We're going to melt 2 to 3 tablespoons of butter in a small pot over a medium-low heat. Now we're going to allow the butter to brown in the pot and make sure you don't walk away because the butter can burn very easily. You'll want to make sure that the end product has a beautiful bronze hue just like this. Now let's turn off the heat so that our butter doesn't burn as we add our other ingredients. We're now going to add 3 tablespoons of brown sugar, 3 tablespoons of honey, 1 to 2 tablespoons of orange marmalade, and finally the juice of 1 to 2 oranges. Now bring the stove up on a medium-low heat and stir all the ingredients until fully incorporated, and then you can take it off the stove. Now that the ham has cooled down and is safe to touch, we're going to use a sharp knife and remove the excess rind and fat on the surface of the ham. These parts of the ham are not good for serving and it's best to remove them before dinner. You can save these scraps to make stock, but that's for another video. Next, we're going to focus on making the beautiful crisscross cuts on the surface of the ham, and here's how we're going to do it. With a sharp knife, we're going to start making straight diagonal and parallel cuts along the surface of the ham. We're going to do this from one end of the ham to the other. Next, rotate your ham by 90 degrees and repeat the process. You'll see the crisscross patterns starting to form. Okay, now for my favorite part. We're going to grab some cloves and we're going to start decorating the ham. Grab a clove and add it to every intersection that you see. This helps the ham not only look amazing, but it's another opportunity for us to add flavor. Now let's put the ham in a baking tray. And grab a pastry brush because we're going to start glazing our ham with the amazing butter sauce that we just made. So try your best to add the butter sauce glaze to every nook and cranny in the ham because this is going to help us achieve an amazing crust that will taste super delicious. As you apply the glaze onto the ham, you'll start to see that it's going to be glossy and shiny, and this part always gets me so excited. As you can see, your Christmas cola ham is starting to come together. So now let's add the ham to a preheated oven that has been heated to about 210 degrees Celsius or 410 degrees Fahrenheit. We're going to allow the ham to bake for about 10 to 15 minutes. As you leave the ham to bake in the oven, it's going to develop a deep dark ruby red, and it can only mean one thing: extra flavor. Now let's take the ham out of the oven. You should notice that the ham has started to form a beautiful red ruby hue, and you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna glaze it once more and put it in the oven for another 10 to 15 minutes, and this is gonna allow us to make a really beautiful crust on the ham itself. And voila, you're done. You have now completed your Christmas cola ham. Now, isn't that a thing of beauty? In addition, the whole house is smelling super amazing, so let's go ahead and carve out a few slices of the ham. As the ham is hot, since it just came out from the oven, I like to use a carving fork and a carving knife so that I don't burn myself. Now this is how you serve it. Just go ahead and put your ham slices on a plate. And with the brown butter sauce that we made just now, we're gonna slobber it all over the ham. Whoa! And there you have it, the juiciest Christmas ham that you've ever had as the centerpiece for your Christmas dinner. Ah, that was so good. So there you have it, now you know how to make your very own Christmas cola ham. And who knew the flavor combination works? I had so much fun making this video, my heart is full and so is my stomach. If you gave this recipe a shot, don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section below. If you learned something or if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to click like, subscribe and to turn on the notifications. Just wishing you a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. This is Tbsp, signing off.